Quick question. Your child has an IEP. Great. But here's what I really want you to think about this week. Is it actually happening? Not is it on file, not did everybody sign it in May. Is it happening right now in your child's actual classroom with an actual teacher who actually knows what's in it? Because here's the truth nobody tells you. An IEP sitting in a folder or buried in a school portal you've logged into exactly once isn't helping anybody. The first few weeks of school are your window. This is when you can catch a mismatch before it becomes a pattern, and a pattern before it becomes a crisis. So today, I'm giving you 10 things every parent of a child with an IEP should do right now at the start of the year. Now stick with me to number 10. Honestly, it may be the most important one on this list. So let's get into it. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. D, and welcome to Beyond the IEP with Dr. D, where we take special education, the IEP process, and the whole how do I actually advocate for my kid question, and we break it down into language that actually makes sense. New here? Hit subscribe. We do this every week. All right, the beginning of the school year, let's talk about it. Here's a mistake I see over and over again. My kid has an IEP, it's handled. Well, I wish it worked that way. It doesn't. An IEP is a piece of paper until somebody turns it into practice. Now, that's not just my opinion, it's federal law. Under the Code of Federal Regulations 300.323, schools are required to have your child's IEP in effect at the start of the year and to make sure every teacher and service provider who touches your child knows exactly what they're responsible for. So let's talk about what this means for you. Tip number 1, read the IEP again. I know, you already read it, you sat through the meeting, maybe you've read it 3 times. Read it again. But not like a legal document this time. Read it like an instructional manual for your kid's year. Here's a real example. Let's say your son's IEP says he gets extended time and reduced distraction setting for tests, plus a weekly check-in with a counselor. If that's new to you when you reread it, that's exactly the point. You want to know these 5 things cold. Present levels, where is he starting from? The annual goals, what are we working toward? Services, what is he actually getting and how often? Accommodations and modifications, how progress is going to be measured and reported to you. That is what's supposed to be in the IEP, so find it. Now here's my favorite trick. Make yourself a 1-page cheat sheet. Not a rewrite of that whole IEP, just the essentials. What services, how often, what accommodations, what are the big goals, and how will I know if it's working? Stick that on the fridge. Now you've got a reference you can actually use in October, not just in August. Tip number 2, know who's actually responsible. Now here's something a lot of parents don't realize. The special ed teacher is not the only person on the hook. Think about your daughter's day. Maybe she's got a general ed math teacher, a speech language pathologist twice a week, and a paraprofessional who works with her during her reading block. Every one of those people needs to know their piece of the plan. And by law, the school has to make sure of it. The Code of Federal Regulations says that the IEP has to be accessible to every regular ed teacher, special ed teacher, and related service provider responsible for carrying it out, and that they're told exactly what they're responsible for. You don't have to hand deliver the IEP to every teacher yourself. That's on the school. But there's nothing stopping you from sending a simple note like this that says, "Hi, I just wanted to introduce myself. My daughter has an IEP, and I know the school has already shared the details with you, but I'm happy to answer any questions, and I'm around anytime." That's it. You're not accusing anyone of anything. You're opening a door and putting yourself on the team from day number 1. Tip number 3, introduce yourself to the case manager. Don't let the first time you talk to the case manager be the day something's gone wrong. Reach out now. Ask 2 simple questions. What's the best way to reach you? Email, phone, the school app. If I have a concern about a specific service, who do I go to? You want that pathway mapped out before you need it, not while you're stressed and scrambling in November. And parents, hear me on this one. Good advocacy doesn't have to start with an argument. You can be informed. You can ask hard questions. You can push back when you need to, and you can still walk in as a collaborative member of the team, not an opponent. Tip number 4, start documenting now. Please don't wait for a problem before you start hunting for paperwork. Set up a folder today. Paper, digital, doesn't matter, just keep it. Keep the IEP, the most recent evaluation, progress reports, report cards, emails, prior written notice, meeting notices, work samples, notes from any conversations, who, what, when, what was said. And here's why this matters. Let's say in October your son's teacher mentions offhand that he seems to be really struggling with transitions lately. If you don't jot that down by February, you're saying, I think someone mentioned something back in the fall. That's not a case, that's a vague memory. Documentation turns, I feel like something's off, into here is a pattern. Here's the timeline, here's what we need to fix. Data beats memory every time. Tip number 5, know how progress is actually measured. This one trips up a lot of parents. If you look at the report card and there's a B in reading, that's great, right? Well, not necessarily. A report card grade and an IEP goal progress are not the same measurement. Your child could pull a solid B in reading and still not be able to be on track for their specific IEP reading goal, because that goal is measuring something totally different, like maybe decoding fluency or reading comprehension at a very specific level. Federal law requires the IEP to spell out exactly how progress toward each goal will be measured and when you'll be updated on it. So pull out that IEP and for each goal ask, what's the baseline? What's the target? How's it being measured? And when do I get it updated? Then ask the real question. Not is my kid passing, but is my kid on track to hit this specific goal? Those are two very different questions with two very different answers. Tip number 6, watch for patterns, not just bad days. Every kid has an off day. Forgets their homework, melts down after a long week. That's normal. We're not chasing single bad days. We're watching for patterns. Maybe homework that should take 30 minutes is stretching into 2 hours, night after night. Maybe your daughter's saying, I hate school out of nowhere. Maybe she tells you, I'm not allowed to use my extra time anymore, or the teacher said, I don't need that. Don't jump to conclusions. Investigate. Ask questions and gather the actual story. One rough Tuesday means nothing. 3 weeks of the same rough Tuesday, that's a pattern worth the conversation. Tip number 7, don't let good grades fool you. Now here's a trap I see constantly. My kids got straight A's and B's. Maybe we don't even need this IEP anymore. Not so fast. Ask a better question. Why is your child succeeding? Let's say your daughter is actually acing math tests. Is it because the material clicked or because she's getting extended time, assistive technology, in a quiet testing room exactly like the IEP says she should? If it's the second one, those supports aren't decoration. They're the reason that grade exists. So don't just look at the letter grade. Look at the progress toward the actual IEP goal. Look how much support it's taken to get there. Look at independence. Success with support doesn't automatically mean the support isn't needed anymore. Tip number 8, know your child's accommodations. I want you to be able to list your child's major accommodations without opening the IEP just from memory. Why? Because accommodations are literally your child's access to instruction and to fair testing. Extended time, preferential seating, text-to-speech, frequent breaks, chunked assignments, reduced distractions, whatever your child's list looks like, know it. But don't stop at what. Ask the details. When should it be provided? Where should it be provided? Who's responsible for making sure it happens? And does my child actually know how to use it? That last one matters more every year. As your child gets older, we want them to understand and use their own supports, not just relying on adults to remember it for them. Tip number 9, start teaching your child to self-advocate. This may be the single biggest gift you ever give your child. We don't want a student graduating and only knowing, I have an IEP. We want them understanding themselves as learners, full stop. So understand the conversation. Ask, what are you good at? What's hard for you? What actually helps you learn? What do you do when you get stuck? Can you ask for the support you need? This builds over years, not overnight. A younger kid might just learn to say, I need help. An older student can actually say something like, I get extended time as an accommodation. Can I use that on this assignment? That's not just prep for the next IEP meeting. That's prep for life after special education services altogether. Tip number 10. You don't have to wait for the annual meeting. This is the one I really want you to remember. If something isn't working, you don't have to sit quietly for 8 months until the annual IEP meeting rolls around. You can request an IEP team meeting anytime. The U.S. Department of Education is explicit about this. It is a parent right, and under the Code of Federal Regulations, the team is required to review and revise that IEP when there's a lack of progress, when there's new evaluation information, or when something you as a parent bring forward or any other relevant change. So if you see a problem, say it. And if it's serious enough, put it in writing. I'm requesting an IEP team meeting to discuss my concerns regarding my child's progress and whether the current IEP continues to be appropriate to address my child's needs. It's short, it's professional, it's specific. You don't need 5 pages, you need one clear sentence. And here's your bonus tip. Don't wait for a crisis to advocate. Told you there'd be 10. Here's one more. Be proactive, not reactive. The best time to fix a problem is when it's small. Communicate early. Ask questions before you're frustrated. Review the data before it piles up. Monitor progress before the report card surprises you. And remember, advocacy is not about fighting the school. It's about making sure decisions are actually built around your child's needs. The law requires the team to weigh your child's strengths, your concerns as a parent, the evaluation data, and your child's actual academic and functional needs. Your concerns matter, so bring them. Okay, let's do a recap. At the start of this school year, I want you to reread the IEP, know who's responsible for it, introduce yourself to the case manager, start documenting, understand how progress is really measured, watch for patterns, don't let good grades fool you, know those accommodations, and teach your child to self-advocate. And remember, you never have to wait for the annual meeting. Parents, your job is not to become a special education lawyer. It's not to memorize federal code. Your job is to understand your child, understand their plan, keep watching, and know when to speak up. Because an IEP was never meant to be something you review once a year and forget. It's a living, working plan for your child's education. If this helped you, hit like and subscribe to Beyond the IEP and send it to another parent navigating this same situation right now. And tell me in the comments, what's your biggest concern heading into the school year? Your question might just become next week's video. Until next time, I'm Dr. D, and remember, don't just attend the IEP meeting, understand the IEP. I'll see you next time on Beyond the IEP with Dr. D.